Spycraft. Typically this podcast has to do with internal battles and making yourself better and stuff like that. Because I love psychology. I think it's so cool, right? But I kind of want to go in a different direction and talk about spycraft. Why? Because it was just an interesting topic I had with a conversation with a buddy of mine. We both did the exact job in the Army, which is called a 35 mic human intelligence collector. What does that mean? That means that every military department, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Army, Marines, they all have intelligence operators that are equivalent to CIA, right? They just go by different names, right? So you won't ever hear the word spy in the CIA, but you will hear a clandestine agent, okay? You won't ever hear spy in the Army, but you will hear human intelligence collector, which was my job. So that's what I essentially did, and it is. And you get the prize of learning all sorts of spy stuff and working with the CIA. So, that being mentioned, here's some basic spycraft stuff, all right, that it's completely unclassified. However, it may be more obscure knowledge that people are unaware of, okay? And just some fun things to use if you ever need to get yourself out of a bind. So first, number one, make yourself invisible. How do you make yourself invisible? If you're in a crowd and you're being followed, okay, and you want to escape, this is the dumbest thing, and it's old school, but it works ever since the Soviet Union when they started doing it, or probably earlier. But anyway, so all you do is the height. Everybody, when you're in a crowd, is looking for your height. So this is so dumb, but all you do is you squat down about a foot, and then you disappear into the crowd, and you walk around, and you run, and you do it like you're in a tunnel, like it has like 4-foot ceilings. And it sounds ridiculous, all right? But I remember when we were being taught this in school, one guy was with the CIA, and another guy was with another agency or something like that. And it was so funny because they were like walking and running around the classroom with, like they were so short. And it was so funny. And then we would have assignments, even in the training aspect, which is one person follow, one person essentially disappear. And every time it worked, because you're using the height of people's natural standing height, right, is the measurement, the average, as far as how to disappear. And the second you drop below that crowd, you're gone. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now, of course, this has to be done in a dense enough area to where you can actually get away with it. Don't do it when there's no people around, because then it'll look crazy. All right, now that's just one of many different things. The other one, I don't recall what the name of this one was, but I kind of just referred to it as is the tracer. And that pretty much means how to know if somebody entered your room, even if they're not moving anything. All right, there's two basic ways. Imagine there was like an invisible tripwire, and if somebody entered your room, you knew that they were in there. Okay, and the key is not letting the other person know that you're in there. The first thing you should always do is have something such as, let's just say, something is positioned in a way to where if somebody takes interest and are looking through it, the position that you set something, it could be a pencil, it could be how it's rotated. Maybe it says number 2 on the pencil and it's on top of a binder or something like that, or whatever it is. And not even that, not even the positioning of it, but the angle of it. I mean, it's got to be a science as far as like how you set things exactly. And if any of it's moved, somebody was in there. Now, imagine that being like a tripwire further in a room, okay? Like with the actual, physical belongings in the room. Now, let's just say there was one more tripwire, invisible, right? And it was as though you put it at the entrance of a door, right? If you have carpet, using something smaller that could be more inconspicuous, right? Like a penny. When you just put it on the top of the handle, you close your door, and when they rotate the doorknob, the penny drops. And if the penny is dropped outside of the distance that you usually drop it when you rotate it, so for example, when you set it up, all right, if you rotate it, it drops down and hits the ground. If you open the door and it's right in front of you, you know exactly where it is. But if it's further away from the door, that means people are opening up the door in a different way, right? So then you just have to set that trap and understand, how am I going to open this door every time? Now, simple way is most people turn a door handle one direction, clockwise. So if you open up a door counterclockwise, if it falls on the left, that means that no one was there every time you enter the door, more than likely, right? Plus the force, how hard do you open up the door? And that penny drop has to be the exact place every single time, right? If you open up the door and it's further away, or they turn the door to the right, the door handle to the right, clockwise instead of counterclockwise, now it's on the right instead of the left, and the distance could be off too, someone was in my room. Because somebody could have just been taking pictures there or something like that. So anyway, there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of things that are unclassified, others which I'm definitely not going to talk about. But the point is, it's random fun information, and if you like random fun information and spy stuff, just join the military. And the disadvantage of being in the military when you have a good operation is that if something great happens, almost always it is going to be given, your asset or your intelligence or whatever, it is going to be given to the CIA, and they take credit for it. And the ironic part is the person in the CIA that you're giving the information to typically is a former army guy or something like that. And that's the irony, right? So anyway, y'all have a beautiful day. I'm at wrestling / judo and jiu-jitsu all in one. Good old Silverback gym. Y'all have a great day. This is Benja Welldone. Check me out. Peace.